Good morning, bedheads. Click. How's it going today? Karen from Spirit Guides. Cute little mug, huh? This little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. This came from a member of our community quite a while ago by the name of Gary. Hi, Gary. I hope you're still here. Um, Dumpster fire, right? I hope you're doing well. Isn't this cute? And somebody else in the community sent me this little dumpster fire. Emotional support dumpster fire. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. And I just pulled these out because, every once in a while we have to look at the dumpster fire of our political system. And then somebody sent me this from Minnesota, and it was for us to keep the light shining. Because at one point we were talking about lighthouses, and then this person found this did you see the light go on? Did it go on? Oh yeah, it's on right up there. It stays on for a little bit. Isn't that cool? I love it so much. Okay, we got a lot to talk about as always. So I'm going to do a little coffee with Karen, and then I'm going to do the October energy report. But this month is a little different. I ran my own energy report based on astrology and natal charts. I haven't done pendulum messages, but I will do that going forward probably next week. Okay. But what I did this time is I pulled 8 other transcripts of people who are pretty popular online on YouTube who have done energy reports, and I intersected them because I think this is really interesting. So we're going to see, where does my energy report plus the other 8, no, yeah, there's 9 of them, so 9 including mine, how do they all come together and where are the differences? So, we have a nice little summary of at least 9 energy reports for October. I just thought that would be interesting. Let's see what it says. So, little coffee with Karen first. So if you're new here, welcome. So coffee with Karen is basically that. I just talk about stuff that's going on, stuff that's on my mind. First, I want to say, though, we're on our day 2 of the 30-day challenge. So whether you're using one of our journals or you're using your own journal, I did day 2 today. So I'm loving it. I just love this so much. And I have to tell you, so I was talking yesterday about the fact that I had decided to take a breather from TV. So we have 4 TVs in our house. I've actually taken one down already, and I did this. So there was a TV right there, and I did that last night. So I'm like, okay, so I'm loving the space without a TV. We're just going to store it for the month. And the thing is, I cannot believe how much stuff I got done yesterday because I'm not sitting my butt in front of a TV. You guys, it's very addictive. It's very addictive to me. Like, I would rather just sit and drink coffee all day and sit in front of the TV and veg. No, I wouldn't rather, actually. I wouldn't rather do that. But sometimes when you're just feeling a little tired, it's easier than going to take a nap. I'll just sit here and watch TV. So I feel like I probably watch 3 hours of TV a day or something like that, between like early in the morning and later at night. But not doing that yesterday, I had to look. We actually put all the remotes down in our basement. So if I'm going to look for a remote, I'm going to have to deliberately go down there and get the remotes, right? So I washed windows. My husband says, when's the last time you washed windows? I was like, never. I have never washed the windows. But I had asked him to do it, and he couldn't get it. It wasn't that he was putting it off. He's a very good chore person, but he wasn't doing it as fast as I wanted him to do. So I'm like, I'll wash them. I got nothing else to do. So I washed windows. I varnished these 2 tables. I've got 2 tables like this. I varnished the top of them because the minute we bought these, if you they would like the stain would, like literally it would chip off very easily. So I had to keep taking like a marker, filling in the color. And I was I don't know, 5 months ago, I bought some varnish to put on top of it so that it wouldn't do that anymore. Did that last night. Went for a 2 mile walk, which I normally would do anyways. What else did I do? I reconnected with a friend that I haven't talked to in like a year and a half. I thought, oh, her and I haven't had lunch together for a while or go out for coffee. So I reconnected with her. I mean, that's incredible, right? So, yeah, it's worth it, you guys. I mean, even if I do it for 30 days. Now, somebody had said, well, what about Halloween movies? I'm like, you're right. I forgot about Halloween coming up. So, like Christmas movies, it's fine. Like, I just have to retrain my brain because sometimes I can overdo things. So I just have to retrain my brain to, if there's a movie on, or say we want to just veg on Saturday night, fine. Go get the remote, watch one movie, and take it downstairs. You know what I mean? Because I need that discipline. I just do. I just need that discipline sometimes and to remind myself, which is exactly why this is so wonderful because it'll just be 30 days of reconnecting or connecting at all with your spirit teams. So if you're not, I mean, if you didn't join us on day 2, join us tomorrow. It doesn't matter. Just start anytime. And all you're doing basically is you're journaling a page and a half. I only journaled like a half a page today. I'll probably continue, but I wrote my letter, and then you'll write a letter to your spirit teams asking for whatever you want, asking for guidance, support, because if you don't ask them, they can't help you. So that's why we're doing that. And then we're going to see how things unfold for us. Okay. So there's that. I will, because the thing I wasn't going to do yesterday, which I ended up still doing, is I wasn't going to watch a lot of YouTube. But what I decided to do, see, I pulled back a little bit. What I decided to do was, as long as I can have earbuds in and I'm moving around, like I'm not sitting watching it on a TV. Like I have to move to watch it. So, when I was varnishing and stuff, I thought, you know what? I do want to listen to Lee Harris's October report. So as long as I'm not sucking in everything about Trump, because that's what I'm trying to do with Trump. I'm trying to wash him out of my hair. And yes, I do wash my hair, by the way. That's why I have bedhead in the morning. So that I felt was a good balance. I just have to watch that I'm not overdoing it. So the only thing I did watch about the news yesterday, which I wanted to tell you about, I will post this video. Anytime I talk about other channels, I will post them in the links in the comment section. Okay, I'll post it, pin it, and in our description below. But this interview is worth watching if you are concerned about the military meeting with Hegseth and Trump. If you are concerned about that, this person, I don't even know who it was, what her name is. I know she works for Midas Touch, though. I think she's part of the Midas Touch network. She was interviewing a past general. So that was really helpful to hear. He's not too concerned. He's not overly concerned. So that was very helpful to hear. Okay. I really appreciated that. A couple things, the thing about quieting your life, quieting the TV, quieting the YouTube, not having earbuds in all the time. The purpose for me to do that is, and then journaling is so I can actually hear myself think. So I can tap into what's actually bothering me. When something bothers me, what is it? And I was actually it's interesting because I was actually able to uncover a few things yesterday. So taking so much time yesterday to not be clouded with other information, which I did most of the day. About 6:30, I put some earbuds in and started listening to some stuff. And I realized a few things. So I wrote these down for you because I wonder, one, if some of these, if you have the same reaction to a few of these things I'm going to tell you. I'm not expecting you would, but you might, and I'd be curious to know. I found it interesting and how I feel. Now, I've never tapped into this because I haven't quieted enough. That's why you got to quiet down sometimes so you can tap into what's really going on. When somebody that I was listening to last night said the 2026 election, I have to tell you, like, anytime somebody mentions that, even from the last 9 months to now, it makes my skin crawl. Like, I just have this like really icky reaction. Not, it doesn't last long, but I just had this icky reaction. And I was like, why am I reacting that way? So I was much more aware of that yesterday when I heard that because I had quieted down yesterday. So I could at least pay attention, like, that's interesting. One, I don't trust it. Two, it feels too far away. So those are my like two things that I feel that's probably my issue when we talk about the 2026 elections. Like, I don't trust that, if we're waiting till 2026 to deal with this administration and what they're trying to do, then we ain't going to see those elections that are not going to matter. The good news is the elections that are currently going on are flipping. So somehow they're not able to manipulate that. So that's amazing. So that's good news, at least. We'll hang on to that. The other thing I realized this morning, I saw a comment from somebody, and it was a prayer that somebody had said in Lee's, when I was pulling Lee's transcript to incorporate into my report, I saw a comment from somebody. And this person had they were black. They had a profile of a person who was black, okay? And so the person was giving a prayer, and it was beautiful. And I realized to myself that when Black Americans, or anyone who's black, doesn't matter who they are, Black American or not American, when they pray, I find peace in that. But when I see white Americans pray or say something, not in this community, but like, especially conservatives, if you can tell the way they're praying, or Christians, like the way they pray, or they say, all to Jesus Christ or something like that, I have a visceral reaction to that. Isn't that interesting? But I don't when I see it from a black person or hear it from a black person. I just realized that this morning too. Isn't that interesting? That just tells you like where my trust levels are with white people in religion. Wow. So that's something, that alone is something worth journaling about. So if you can quiet down this month, you'll have plenty to journal. You'll have plenty of to journal about. So let's see. There's a few more other things I wanted to share during Coffee with Karen. So we're reading this in the Spirit Circle, right? The Wonder of Unicorns. You've heard me talk about that. There are a few things I wanted to read to you. If you're not in the Spirit Circle, this is something this is a chapter that I'll be reading today to our, to those who are in the membership. So I found this really interesting. So this is Diana Cooper, and this is what she has channeled. So she says she's channeling. I can't say that 100%, but they're interesting concepts. So you need to put yourself in a mindset that there are unicorns, okay? Like real unicorns out there in other realms, and that we each have our own personal unicorn. That's what she says, okay? So again, I don't know. I'm not telling you one way or the other. We're just entertaining ideas. So she's talking about a pre-birth supervision, okay? Pre-birth. So unicorns helping us and some others specifically during pre-birth planning. She said the indigos, rainbows, sun, and crystal children. I know indigos. I've not heard rainbow, sun, and crystal children before. being born who are enlightened ones, carry a very high frequency. Unicorns are connecting with them and teaching them before birth. So there's this group of spirits who are being trained, basically enlightened, to come to Earth right now, called Indigo, Sun, what were they? Indigo, Sun, Rainbow, and Crystal Children. She says, the unicorns have always connected pre-birth with those who have a special mission to further the progress of humanity in some way. That's just, we all have a mission here, but it's all different. Whatever our experiences, our life plans are, they're all different. But there are some who have a special mission to progress humanity in some way. And the unicorns will always connect with those pre-birth. They implant a star in their aura. The unicorns do. Implant a star in their aura so that when the individual enters the cloudy negativity of Earth, is how she described that. And I thought that was interesting. The cloudy negativity of Earth, their light can be pinpointed so they can find them. How amazing is that? In fact, it's so amazing that look at my little, this is how I indicate to myself that I'm like, what? I draw that little face with the mouth open. Huh? They place 5-pointed stars in the auras of those souls who are striving to perfect themselves so that they can, through their own growth, help others. They place 6-pointed stars, 6-pointed ones, in the auras of those with a vision to bring heaven to earth. So they can find them. Oh my gosh, I just love that concept. A few who have been specially trained are distinguished with a 7-pointed star. I wonder how many people in our community have 5, 6, or 7-pointed stars. Anybody? That'd be amazing to find out. See, that's what we're doing. We're working with our unicorns right now in the spirit circle, doing visualizations and all that kind of stuff. In December, with the public community here, we are going to journal. I'm going to have some journals, and you can use your own, but I'm going to create some so we're journaling with the unicorns. Okay. I thought December is kind of a magical month for some people, a lot of us. So, or could be, I don't want to assume it's magical for everybody, but it sort of has that magical energy, and maybe that's astrology. I'm not sure. We'll find out when we get to December. Faye could let us know. So I thought December might be a fun month to do that. Another reason for the close pre-birth supervision and education of the enlightened children from Orion is that so many of them cannot cope with the heavy vibration of Earth. This is my second, what? Wait till you hear this, because you know someone. You probably know someone. So let me just read that again. Another reason for the close pre-birth supervision and education of the enlightened children from Orion is that so many of them cannot cope with the heavy vibration of Earth. On occasion, part of their soul withdraws, resulting in what doctors call autism or autistic tendencies. So here maybe. I've always said, oh, it's our food that's causing more autism. Other people say it's the vaccines, it's this, it's that. No, maybe it's not. Maybe they're being born right now, and because they're having a harder time dealing with the vibration of Earth because they have higher vibrations, that they're withdrawing, and it comes off as autism and autistic tendencies. So now you might think of the people, your grandchildren, your children, you might think of people a little differently when you think of that. I just thought, remember a while back, I don't remember if we got in one of the books but new perspectives is a miracle. New perspectives are miracles. So every day when you get new perspectives, because especially when you're doing journaling, you get new perspectives. I told you I got some new perspectives, like why do I respond to people who are praying different ways depending on their skin color? It's really more about their culture. Why do I feel that way about the 2026 elections? Understanding those are all new perspectives. Those are miracles. So you're getting miracles all the time. Your life doesn't have to be this big grandiose thing to have miracles, right? Okay, so I thought that was very interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the October report. I am going to split this video up, but for those of you who are here now for Coffee with Karen, you're going to hear the whole thing. I'm going to break down the energy report. So I'm going to post that part of it tonight at 7 p.m. So for those of you who are just joining me, welcome. I still got the bedhead going. So I just did Coffee with Karen, and now I'm moving into the October report, which I'm separating. So if you wanted to see Coffee with Karen, you could watch the video that was posted earlier today. So we are looking at October 2025 energy. What can we expect? I already explained this. Excuse me. Yeah, I start getting, I have no reason to be clearing my throat right now because I've cleared all my food allergies. So it's interesting because someone had said, oh, that's your throat chakra. And I'm like, okay, it is kind of interesting when it comes up. Like it just started coming up when I was talking about October energy. But if you didn't join me for Coffee with Karen, let me just tell you real quick how I did that this month. So I do run my own report with Mabel, which is AI, that I've spent hours and hours and hours writing and working with Faye, our community astrologer, to make sure that it's accurate. So this is the energy reports that I pull are astrology based, natal chart based, natal charts from the US, the world, Trump's specific natal chart because he's so dominant right now in the culture with shit's going on. Our community's natal chart as well. I usually pull pendulum messages, but I don't have them right now because I was too busy pulling this other kind of report together. But I will do October pendulum messages for I'll do them next week. Okay. But what I did do is I pulled in 8 other reports from people on YouTube. Lee Harris, a lot of us know Lee Harris. I was able to grab all these transcripts from their energy reports and write a report that combines them all, including mine, because I was curious to know, are we all talking about the same thing or are we all talking about different things? So you'll be pleasantly surprised to see where the integration is of all the reports. So I'm going to tell you who they are. I don't know if I'm going to list them. You could go out and find them. I'm not sure I'm going to list their links just because I don't know if I'll have time to. Okay, so that's kind of exciting. I'm excited to see what the report looks like. I haven't really read through it in detail. I usually wait to do that until I'm here with you. So let's start. Let's get started. Okay, like I said, I've pulled together 9 different October energy reports. These include astrology forecasts, psychic channelings, Akashic records, intuitive readings, and our own Ask the Spirit Guides report. Each has a different style: political astrology, archetypal channeling, spiritual healing, and cosmic frequency updates. Okay. Taken together, they paint a clear, big picture across all voices. So all 9 of the energy reports they all report that October is not just another month. Great. And let's not assume that it's all going to be about dumpster fires. It doesn't all have to be about dumpster fires, right? It just doesn't have to be. It just tends to be the dumpster fires are what help us evolve more, and the dumpster fires is what we tend to pay attention to. So this is our other little dumpster fire we have, just in case you need emotional support as we go through this, the month of October. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. Thank you to whoever sent that to me. It's so cute. So October is not just another month. Now, I will remind you when we did pendulum messages with Charlie Kirk, he did say, so we'll see how that aligns with what all of these 9 reports say. But Charlie said October will be rough and November will be more peaceful. So there's that. So October, out of the 9 reports, from the 9 reports, is described as a turning point, a threshold, and an invitation month. And just a reminder, you guys, I will send this report plus the look back report on email probably tomorrow. So you'll get that. So if you haven't signed up for our newsletter, you could do so right there, or the link is in the description. The shared view is that October is when old cycles end. Feels like that's constantly happening and new ones begin. It just feels like it's constant. That's just a normal thing now. Aren't you just kind of used to that now? We hear that a lot. Old cycles ending, new cycles beginning. It's just, I think some months are just stronger than others with the astrology. Intensity is emphasized in every report. So all 9 of us are saying that this month is going to be intense, and Charlie did as well, right? With the pendulum message he actually spelled out. Aries fire, Scorpio shadow, and Pluto rebirth are the drivers. So if you're into astrology, you'll know what that means. I don't know what that means. So Aries fire, Scorpio shadow. So we've got fire, shadow, and rebirth. Pluto rebirth are the drivers for October. This combination signals eruptions, hidden truths surfacing. That's a continuing. It seems like it's a lot. There's a lot of hidden truths surfacing, which is why the lower vibration, darker energy, I don't even like using dark, just the lower vibration is freaking out. And that would be like somebody who looks like they're freaking out, who's a little dramatic, not being very kind and loving. You decide who those people are. So hidden truths continue to surface, deep revelations, and fast transformations. So I think that's why this ended up, I don't know why I picked October to do journaling, the next 30-day challenge, but maybe this is why, just to help those who are doing it, and help myself, this is the time to be calm, go inward. This is more of a time to go inward, especially if there's deep revelations, fast transformations. It's the best time for me to be quiet, just a little quieter. A monthly rhythm emerges across all sources of all 9 reports. Ignition, early shocks, integration, mid-reset, empowerment, a little late truths. So we've got ignition in the early part of the month where we might feel a little shocked. In the middle part, we'll be integrating the shocks. And at the end of the month, we're empowered with the truth. Interesting. October carries a dual track, global system shake at the collective level. Individuals are asked to anchor sovereignty at the personal level. So we've always got these 2 going on. We've got what's going on in the collective and what's going on with each of us individually. So, how much are you overly paying too much attention to the collective and not enough to your personal? So we want to balance that. In fact, I would probably do it this way a little bit. More to the personal sovereignty, what you're learning, how you're transforming. Help use this energy to help you do that, but don't let it overtake you, which is easy to do, right? The guidance of all 9 reports is consistent. Cut old cords. You can go like this, cut cords, cutting energy cords. I usually say I respectfully disconnect all cords and just kind of go like that. I don't know. Someone taught me to do that a while back. So you can cut old cords, stop outsourcing your power. That's paying too much attention to the collective. Embody higher self. we're journaling to our higher selves. That's part of so not only does my journal, and you could do this in your own journal, write a letter to your spirit teams, which includes your higher self. Okay. So embody higher self, anchor light while institutions wobble. So institutions are wobbling more. They're wobbling more in October. So let's be ready for it. Let's be ready for it. My report sharpens the lens with specific details, like specific events. Okay. So like if I were just going to run my report, it would have some predictions. I'll do that next week with like a weekly one. But it would pull in the US shutdown, Trump instability, censorship wars, and grassroots resilience. Okay. So that's a little different than like mine is written slightly different because it looks at actual things that are going on, where the other 8 energy reports, I wouldn't say are more general. There's a lot of specifics in them, but they don't go into like the actual things that are going on in the collective, at least, the political collective. Okay, so my sources were Tara Arnold, Channeling Saint Germain. There's one called Two Timelines Channeler. I don't know who that is, but I just typed in October reports in YouTube, and I went to ones that I knew, and there were a few I didn't know, but they had a lot of views, so I figured that was pretty popular. So I wanted to see what they were saying. So that one was called Two Timelines. I don't know who that person is. There's an astrologer, Dan Waits, who I pulled. There's someone who reads the Akashic Records. I pulled that one. Tarot Soul Writer, love her. Do you guys ever watch that? Tarot Soul Writer. Matt and Joy Khan. They have a very large following. I don't really follow them that much, but I wanted to see what they were saying for October. Angels and Arcturians Channeler. Libri. Oh my God. I can tell my brain is like, what today? Libra, Scorpio, Threshold Channeler. I'm not sure who that is, but I guess I might have to list these for you if you really wanted to know. Lee Harris, Channeling the Z's, and then our report. So the core agreements among all 9 reports. Again, threshold month, turning point. All frame October as pivotal. Words use threshold, portal, reckoning, initiation. Seen as the month we'll look back at as cycle breaking shifts. Okay? Cycle breaking shifts. So just kind of keep that in mind. Fire plus Scorpio plus Pluto dominance. Aries full moon, eruption, protest, bold optics. I'm an Aries. What does that say? Eruptions, protests, bold optics. Scorpio season, shadow work. So we've got the shadows coming. Secrets exposed and empowerment. Pluto direct in Aquarius, people power, systemic breakdown, and transformation. People power, I love that. Systemic breakdown. Okay, we know the systems are breaking down. There's no doubt about it. It feels very uncomfortable to watch them break down, but we know now they need to in order for us to really because they sucked. Now I know how much scamming has been going on. I didn't know. I have to say, like, I'm one of those people who's awake now. I wasn't awake a year ago. I didn't realize how deep. I mean, it's like you do, when you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, you do know because you have enough experience. But when you're moving on with your life and you're not paying too much attention to politics, you just don't realize how deep it's gotten. It's gotten deep. It's deep. It's all over the place. The corruption of these people making $1 gazillion, it's allegedly in entertainment purposes only, but I'm awake. If anybody, if we needed to wake up, it's to that. It's to how much corruption is going on, in my opinion, in all of our governments. and with the elites. So, and that's market manipulation and all this other stuff. So I think that's where the waking up is, which is great because that's to the people. That's why it's not red and blue anymore. This is not a red and blue issue at all. Like, I'm awake to that for sure. We just have to help everybody understand that. I mean, people who are fighting for the government now are fighting for their own demise, basically. So I see it. Okay, two-part rhythm. Early mid-October, fire protests, secrets revealed. So it looks like it's going to be a rough couple weeks. Mid-late, so mid-October, Libra reset, Venus support, peace efforts. And the end of October, Scorpio deep dive, shadow clarity, and empowerment. Now remember, these are all the things that our 9 reports had consistent messaging around. The personal work, cutting cords and contracts made in fear or disempowerment. So take a look at the things in your life this month that where you haven't felt empowered and you've stayed, and maybe you don't even know. It's the shadow work, right? It's like, where have you been? Where's the underlying fear in your body, in your soul, in your mind? And where it's time to start clearing those. Speak truth, embody sovereignty, align inner commitments with outer actions. Collective manifestations, again, this all the 9 reports, visible unrest, shutdowns, protests, corruption, exposure. I just said that, corruption. I hadn't read that in the report. Peacemaking energies surge mid-month, which is great because that's when the next No Kings protest is October 18th. So that's really good. Chaos and harmony exist together. Balance is the task. So that's the message all 9 reports are telling us, is chaos and harmony can exist together. So that's something just to hang on to. Like, I can be peaceful and harmonious in here while all this chaos is going on out here. Balance of that is the task. It seems to be the task for the last 9 months. So there were some differences in the reports, okay? Mechanics of change. So Saint Germain, 2 timelines, and Dan Waits. Saint Germain said dark structures collapse. 2 timelines said split realities. Dan Waits said astrology transits are triggers. Okay, so it's just slightly different in the language. The tone of October, some said opportunity and peace, where others said dense and heavy and gentle closure. Okay, so there's some slight differences in there. Unique highlights, Dan Waits, geopolitics, Nepal protests, multipolar world. I don't know what that means. 2 timelines said light workers leaving bridge roles. Okay, I'll let you interpret that. Libra, Scorpio, that was another channel. Cutting old contracts using voice as frequency anchors. Lee Harris, which was an amazing report, by the way, if you haven't listened to it. If you're going to listen to any of those, that's the one I'd go listen to. It's really good. Freedom, besides mine, of course. Freedom under the microscope. Freedom is under the microscope. How much do you like your freedoms? I like it. I like my freedoms a lot. It's under the microscope this month, is what Lee's saying. Illusion of material safety. You'll have to let him describe that to you. It was quite interesting. The illusion of material safety and system chaos again. Okay. Let's see. October threshold month. Intensification, exposure, integration. I think this is kind of feels like the same stuff. There are some key dates here. I'm not going to list them off. I will put them in the newsletter. So if you want to know the key dates for astrology, they will be in there. Okay. Let's just see if there's anything what I think might be. I don't know. Each week kind of brings its own little energy. So, okay. So storylines you might see, shutdowns and justice fights, Trump volatility and meltdowns. Oh, surprise, surprise. Censorship and speech wars. It started last month for sure. Jimmy Kimmel and some other things. I talked about that in the look back report. Military optics and escalation risks. That's Aries full moon could bring that about. Grassroots resilience continues to grow. That came from multiple reports. System chaos and illusions of safety. That was mostly Lee Harris. Dark versus light battle. Saint Germain and Lee Harris mentioned that. And sovereignty and voice empowerment came from all of us. How it lands personally. Okay, so let's just look at this, how it lands personally. Global chaos ricochets. Global chaos ricochets. Personal purges plus fast healing cycles. Okay, just again, it's moving so fast. That's why we need to take time away from living other people's lives, like watching stuff on TV constantly. Cut weak ties and dissolve outdated arguments. That would be a good time for this month. Speak only from higher self, words as frequency anchors. Gifts and new abilities surfacing. Treasure chest moments, that's really positive. And daily anchoring in light becomes essential. So I'm really glad we're doing this journaling challenge this month. Again, if you haven't started, just join us now. Porticles and practices, hand on heart breathing. So these are just the little things you can do. Fire ritual, release outdated contracts or commitments. So light a candle, you could do it that way. Weekly meditation, strengthen grassroots healing. Media discernment, avoid entanglement with fear narratives. Nature, solitude, cultivate inner light. Crystals, you could use smoky quartz. That's been coming up a lot for us. That's a grounding stone. And labradorite. Remember when I couldn't say that, you guys? A couple weeks ago, I kept labradorite. That's for shielding, labradorite. I think I just bought that. Is that the one I just bought? Spiritual allies. So if you want to write these down, again, you can get it in the newsletter, but if you want to write these down, Athena for wisdom, Michael, Archangel Michael for protection, Archangel Gabriel for clarity, Archangel Uriel for peace, and Mary Magdalene for compassion. Okay, and the last but not least, just real quick, big picture synthesis of everything. There's a dual track going on, as usual. Chaos plus breakthroughs unfold side by side. Your personal call is to continue your sovereignty, knowing that you don't need anybody else's permission to know the truth, which, by the way, that was a great quote, and I just put it on a mug for our shop. The truth doesn't need your permission to be true, or something like that. Can't quite remember, but it turned out to be a really cute mug. Anchoring inner light, your personal call, anchoring your inner light, and speaking your truth. Collective call, we might see shutdowns, protests, censorship paired with peace efforts, breakthroughs, and resilience. That's perfect. I love it. Layered truth, astrology, psychic channeling, intuitive guidance all converge. So we are all kind of agreeing on this energy, which is great. Bottom line, October isn't collapse. It's exposure, recalibration, and empowerment. I love that. We'll leave you there. All right. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.